Today, I'm excited to share my deep dive into Dungeons of Hinterberg, a game that has recently caught my attention, and I played this game to 100% completion. I'm here to share my experience, and maybe things that you would want to know in case you started your adventure. So grab your swords and spellbooks, because this one's going to be a pretty magical journey. And also thank you for Microberg Games for providing me the free game. And just a side note, you can also feed a cow. Who's a good cow? Now, Dungeons of Hinterberg is an action-adventure game with a unique twist involving magical dungeons. So it's the charm of a quaint alpine village combined with the thrill of battling monsters and solving puzzles. So a lot of people are referring to this as kind of Zelda-like, kind of Persona-like. However, this indie gem offers a blend of action, exploration, and RPG elements that is really hard to resist once you start playing. But what makes it stand out? So you play as Luisa, a solo dungeoneer exploring mysterious dungeons. The game's story draws inspiration from folklore and myth, creating an immersive world that feels both familiar and magical. If you watch Hilda, the mythical show that's on Netflix, it's actually pretty similar in terms of magic and lore in here, so it's pretty cool to see that if you're a fan. And while the main story is fairly average, it's the setting and atmosphere that really truly shines. Now, the gameplay loop in Dungeons of Hinterberg is where magic really starts to happen, so if you're a fan of things like Kingdom Hearts, Devil May Cry, any action RPG like that, even Nier Automata, you'll feel kind of right at home with the combat system. So attacks, dodges, skills, and abilities make the action incredibly addicting. The variety of enemy types keeps things fresh, and there's like goats, scarecrows, witches, and let's be honest, who doesn't love a good goat monster? Seriously, they're bad to the bone. Each dungeon region is vastly different, so one moment you're navigating minecarts and jelly, then you're navigating poisonous rivers on top of a whirlwind. The next you're scaling snowy mountains or exploring like what I call the sunken city of Atlantis. Now, this diversity in environments is great for keeping the gameplay exciting, but how is the difficulty curve? So is it accessible for beginners? And it definitely is. I would say they did a good job in crafting it to the pace that you're comfortable with. For players that have played and reviewed Dungeons of Hinterberg, they always rave about the puzzles, and I also agree. The puzzles are clever and thematic. They fit perfectly into the world. They're challenging enough to be satisfying, but never frustrating. Each region offers you two unique abilities that you kind of use between all those dungeons in the region to help solve the puzzles. And then you have skills that just transfer across all realms. Now, this adds a little depth to the exploration because there's a little like hub area you can explore in each region before you do the different dungeons. In addition to your gear, you also have charms which act like a skill tree. This is pretty common if you have played like Nier Automata or Kingdom Hearts. It's just like a accessory limit, and each different skill has a cost to it. So this allows for customizable playstyles, while upgradable armor and sword enchantments give you a small sense of progression. By the way, you can save 10% on Dungeons of Hinterberg on the PC by checking the link in the description with the Green Man Gaming retailer. Don't wait too long, it's only 10% off until July 31st. Now, let's talk about the social aspect. The game has a plethora of characters you can interact with for skill growth. Initially, it can feel a bit overwhelming. They don't really ease you into all those people. You can upgrade your friendship between everyone about 3 or 4 times, so it can be overwhelming because you're not really sure where you want to go as far as your skills and what you're looking to do. So if you're trying to min-max instead of just playing the story, that is kind of not helpful. Now, I did beat the game in just 26 days because there's 26 dungeons, so if you do one dungeon a day, you're done in 26 days. However, I did decide to go further just to see how long it would let you play for, and it seems like it's infinite. So I got up to like day 67 before I actually completed everything there was. So you quite literally cannot max all of your friendships in 26 days if you plan to do the dungeons every day. With that said, it's another negative impact on the experience because any RPG fan is going to want to maximize all relationships before they beat the game. So the fact that you're hindered into that is kind of frustrating because there's not a new game plus. Another downside is the lack of voice acting, so this does hinder the emotional connection with the characters, and since the game never puts them in real danger, there's no fear of losing your friends, and all of your choices don't really have an impact on your friendships. That can make the social interactions kind of be impactful and kind of just stale, if I'm honest. Now, if you enjoy your relationship without the voice acting and reading a lot of text, then that is perfectly fine. That is good for you. But if you're looking for just gameplay and just 100% purposes, it can be really taxing. I mentioned earlier that it only takes about 26 days to complete the game if you're just going straight through it. So after you finish the main campaign, is there enough content to keep you coming back? So when I completed it, it was at about the 15-hour mark for a straight campaign. I would say an average playthrough could be 19 hours, just depending on what kind of side stuff you do. If you are really struggling with completing a dungeon a day or just want to take your time with it. And I would say it's about 22 hours, maybe 25 hours for a completionist to do 100%. Note that all of the achievements takes maybe 19 hours, but the next hour or two is really just filling out all of your friendships so that you know what they do. I wouldn't say there's any super hidden secrets or that many side quests. There are enough to facilitate the length of the game, but it does make it worthwhile for those who like to uncover every detail. And speaking of uncovering details, if you're a fan of discovering new things and fueling your curiosity, you'll love the Curiosity Box by Vsauce. It's a subscription box filled with science toys, brain teasers, and exclusive items that inspire learning and exploration. Check the link in the description to get your own Curiosity Box and start your journey of discovery today. I was addicted to Dungeons of Hinterberg for its exploration, puzzles, and combat, and to 100% completion was a fantastic experience. The game's blend of the action, exploration, and RPG elements makes it a must-play for fans of the action RPG genre. While the main story may not be groundbreaking, the immersive world, magical synergies, addictive combat, and the clever puzzles did keep me engaged. The sound design is also noteworthy. I kind of found myself humming to the songs, and the soundtrack is just really good on its own. So, if you're looking for an indie game that combines action, adventure, and a touch of the RPG, Dungeons of Hinterberg might just be that dungeon crawling adventure that you've been waiting for. If you have any questions I didn't cover, drop them in the comments below. I'll be glad to help. And thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more gaming content. Let me know what you think, and if there's any other games you want me to review. Until next time, happy gaming.